Welcome to the Fourth Down Podcast. I'm your host, Alex, and today we're going to be talking about the Week 1 predictions for the 2025 NFL season. It's hard to believe it's already here. Week 1, NFL football. Welcome back. Before we get into it, I just want to say thank you for all the support in my last video with the Micah Parsons trade. If you haven't checked that out, please go on to Fourth Down and watch the Micah Parsons getting traded to Green Bay. And also, too, again, follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and subscribe to us on the YouTube channel. We're going to be trying to post a couple contents here and there during the week as of now, and we'll see where the ship is going. But I'm excited. It's going to be a lot of fun. Week 1 is here, as mentioned. So let's jump right into this, shall we? So, opening night, Week 1, it'll be the Dallas Cowboys against the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm going to pick the Eagles to win this one, obviously. I was going to pick Dallas before the Micah Parsons trade, but after that, I think Philadelphia has too much firepower on them, especially without Micah Parsons. Kenny Clark will be a great help for them, but they still got Saquon, A.J. Brown, all them guys. I'm going to pick Philadelphia to win, and I think they're going to win by 10. Chief Charger in Brazil, I think Kansas City's going to beat the Chargers. It'll be a good game, though. I think it's going to be close. It's going to be high scoring, I think. Kind of like last year's, like around the 30-26 range. But I think, they still got Mahomes. They still got Kelsey. They still got them guys. And I just don't think the Chargers have too much of a roster to compete with the Chiefs. So Kansas City's going to win and go 1-0. Now time for Sunday games. And we got the Dolphins taking on the Colts. I do have the Miami Dolphins being the Colts. Daniel Jones and your starting quarterback doesn't really help, but I think the roster is too much better than the Colts. Devon A. Chance will be playing Week 1. Still got Tyreek. Losing Jonathan Smith's huge, but they should be able to replace him. But like I said, I think Miami beats the Colts. Let's go to the next game now. Steelers-Jets. Probably the most interesting matchup of the day. Justin Fields, Aaron Rodgers returning to MetLife to take on the Jets. Fields, Rodgers playing against their old teams. I think the Steelers win just because I think the Steelers have a better roster than the Jets overall. I think Aaron Rodgers is a better quarterback to this day over Fields. And Mike Tomlin is obviously better than Aaron Glenn. Obviously. Even if Aaron Glenn was a couple years, I still think Mike Tomlin is better than him, obviously. But I think the Steelers win this game. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, to be honest. I think it's going to be like around the 19-10 kind of scoring range for some reason. It just feels like one of those low-scoring games. So, I got Steelers. Panthers Jaguars. I got the Carolina Panthers winning. I'm actually on the Panthers bandwagon this year. I think Carolina is going to make the postseason as a 7th seed or win the NFC South. They're a good team. They have Chuba Hubbard. They got Tattori McMillan. Leggett. They did trade away Alan Thielen, but I don't think it's going to be a huge loss for them. And in defense, too, they traded for the Saints defensive tackle. They got a lot of guys on both sides of the ball, and I really am excited for Bryce Young to develop more in this offense that they're producing with him. But it's going to be a lot of fun. So I think the Panthers will be a 7th seed. So I'm thinking they're going to be the Jags. All right, let's go to the next one. Cardinals Saints. I think Arizona wins this game. I don't think it's going to be much of a game. I think New Orleans, outside of Kamara and Cam Jordan, could have one of the weakest rosters in the league. Well, there are other favorite players too. Like there's Demario Davis, Chris Olave, but the quarterback position is definitely one of the lowest ranks in the league. And I think Spencer Rattler is not that good. I think Arizona is going to win by double digits. So Cardinals win this game. Giants Commanders. I think this game is going to be interesting. I think it's going to be a lot closer than what people think. I was going to pick Commanders to win by a lot before the preseason. But now that we saw Russell Wilson, Jackson Dart kind of making plays, and I get it's preseason, but I think the Commanders are going to win this game. Not by a lot. I think they win by 7 or 8 points. So I think Washington wins. Buccaneers Falcons. The next game, I think Michael Penix and the Falcons are going to upset the Bucks. You gotta have Week 1 upset. Week 1's always going to have these crazy upsets, these crazy storylines. But I just think the way Atlanta played down the stretch last season, they played great. They competed with the Commanders. They did well. So I think the Falcons get the upset win over Baker Mayfield and the Bucks. Even I'm excited for the Buccaneers offense, especially with Ibuka as the wide receiver 3 for the Buccaneers. Bengals Browns. I'm going to pick Cleveland with the upset. I think Cincinnati struggles early on in Week 1. Joe Burrow and that offense last couple of seasons have not been productive over the first couple of weeks. Joe Flacco's going to be starting quarterback. Cleveland is not going to be the worst team in the league. I know some people are saying that, but they got Myles Garrett. Sure, they got rid of Nick Chubb, but they still got that roster. They still got that roster going, so I think Cleveland's upsetting Cincinnati. Raiders Patriots, last 1 p.m. game before we get to the 4 o'clock games. Las Vegas taking on New England. I think New England is going to win. I don't know if we want to really kind of call that an upset, but I think New England, I like what Mike Vrabel did done. They got Stephon Diggs. They got a bunch of guys for agency. And they got Mike Vrabel, as I said. So, but I think it's but I'm excited for Drake May, man. I'm excited to see how Drake May develops in his second year. And I'm excited to see how Mike Vrabel does. So I'm going to pick the New England Patriots in an upset over the Las Vegas Raiders. And now we go to 4 o'clock games. 49ers Seahawks. I think Niners still win this game. I think the Niners still have a better roster than the Seattle Seahawks. And they're still going to be developing and learning the offense with Sam Darnold and company. They lost Greenlaw, obviously. Lost a couple other pieces, Debo. But it's still the 49ers. And they got Robert Saleh back, too, I heard. So they should still be a good team. Not that we're in like 2019, but it still should be like a 2021 kind of team. So 49ers win over Seattle. Titans Broncos. Cam Ward, Bo Nix. Well, interesting matchup, interesting choice. I want to go Denver, but by a hair. I like what Cam Ward's been doing. I've always been a fan of Cam Ward, and when he played in Miami too. I think he's gonna be talented. I think he'd be great. The weapons around him are a little concerning, but I think they're just waiting to see if he could be that guy, kind of like with Jordan Love, and then they might go after some other players. But you still got Calvin Ridley, who's going to help out a lot. You still got a couple ballers on the defensive side of the ball. I personally think Denver's going to win though, but by a hair. Like they re-signed Cortland Sutton, Pastor Tan still there, and they're just a better team. So I think Bo Nix and the Broncos win. So Lions Packers. This game, before the Micah Parsons trade, I was still going to go Green Bay because Detroit lost their coordinators, both offense and defense. So that's going to be a major, not a major, but like a minor disadvantage. They're trying to get the right plays and all that. They did sign DJ Reed, which I liked in the secondary. But I feel like the Packers are different this time. And this was before the Micah Parsons trade. I think Green Bay would have won at Lambeau by a field goal. I think with a new improved defense and getting Matthew Gordon in the first round and getting the offensive line with Aaron Banks and company and They had a trading for the Philadelphia offensive tackle. I think they were going to win by 3. And with the reasons like Detroit losing both the coordinators, so they're going to struggle early on. I mean, they'll pick up the pace as the season goes on, but I think in those first couple of weeks of the season, they're going to struggle both offensively and defensively as they try to get schemes going. But now, after the Micah Parsons trade, I think Green Bay is should win this football game. And now it's easy, obviously. I think they're going to win by a touchdown. It could potentially maybe 10 points. Like I said, Micah Parsons is a big help. Help out Rashawn Gary and company. And on the offensive side of the ball for Green Bay, Matthew Golden's gonna he's first round pick for a reason. He was talented. I mean, you see him preseason. His separation's great hands. So we're just excited for Matthew Golding to start. And Detroit still got Aiden Hutchinson back. We'll see how he's doing. Hopefully he does well. But you gotta be concerned with the leg injury. See how that's gonna affect him coming back. Jahmyr Gibbs potentially getting more reps could play a factor too. But like I said, I think Green Bay's gonna win this game, so I'm gonna pick the Packers to win this game. All right, a few more games to go. Texans Rams. This is another great game. I'm gonna pick Houston because we're not sure what's going on with Matthew Stafford. I know he's probably gonna be playing, obviously, but I think it's one of those games where you think Houston's just gonna come in here and sneak out with a win. They do have Devontae Adams, they have Puka, they have Kyren Williams. Houston got Nico Collins still. Tank Dell's gonna be out for the whole season. Will Anderson, Jimmy Ward's in trouble, and they got Joe Mixon. But depending on Matthew Stafford's status, I mean he should play, but I don't know how well he's gonna play. So it's gonna base on that. So I think the Houston Texans are gonna beat the LA Rams in that game. Then we get Sunday Night Football. Great game. Ravens Bills. Buffalo let go of Von Miller. Oh, I don't have that too. Commanders got Von Miller. But anyways, Buffalo got rid of Von Miller. Buffalo got rid of Amari Cooper. They didn't really do a whole lot this offseason. I mean, they signed James Cook, which helps a lot. They got Joey Bosa. Man, I should have a little more research. They got Joey Bosa, which was huge. Kind of replacing Von Miller a little bit. And as for the Baltimore Ravens, they got Jair Alexander. Jair Alexander, they got Awuzie, they signed DeAndre Hopkins, signed Ronnie Staley, and they signed Kyle Hamilton to a deal. So both pretty productive off seasons for both these teams. I think Baltimore's going to win, though. It's usually those revenge games that I like, but also I think Baltimore with Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson duo, and with Zay Flowers, DeAndre Hopkins, with likely too. It's just too much firepower on the offensive side of the ball. I think it'll be a great game, a phenomenal game, and I know Josh Allen's going to put the team on his back like he does every year, but I think Baltimore's too much, and like I said, revenge games are always usually the loser wins in those. So I'm going to pick the Ravens to win. And last but not least, we got the Minnesota Vikings taking on Chicago Bears. Regular season debut for J.J. McCarthy. Regular season debut for Ben Johnson. It's gonna be an interesting game. Minnesota, you know, Sam Darnold's gone, bringing J.J. McCarthy. The Chicago Bears, Luther Burden, got rid of Keenan Allen, and the Vikings had had a good bit of offseason moves. But like I said, I think, in my opinion, I'm gonna go with an upset for this one. I'm gonna go with Minnesota for this one because the Vikings have a better defense. Yeah, they still have a better defense. They have pretty much a better they pretty much have a better offense. Like running back, I'm trying to think. Trying to forgive me if I miss something. They have Aaron Jones, who I think is better than DeAndre Swift. They have Justin Jefferson, which no need to explain. He is the best receiver in football. TJ Hawkinson, probably even with Cole Kmet. The only thing I could probably say, and Jaden McCarthy, do you even say he's better than Caleb Williams? Caleb's obviously better because Jaden hasn't played yet, but we're going to find out soon. But I think all of them alone, and I think there's going to be a lot of pressure week 1 for Caleb in that offense that I think Minnesota's going to be too much for them. And like I said, with the Lions-Packers game, I think it was week 1 early struggles going to happen. I do believe in them. And division game 2, I'm going to say Minnesota with the upset. Because I just feel like Minnesota's a better team. They won 14 wins. Last year, there's a reason. I know they got one and done by the Rams, but there's a reason for that. So it's going to be that game where if Caleb balls out and shines right off the bat, then they'll start to listen. But I think the Vikings will be too much. So I'm gonna go Minnesota with the upset. And just like that, those are my week 1 predictions. Like I said, football is back, man. It's very exciting time. Thursday is going to be the NFL kickoff game between the Cowboys and the Eagles. We'll have more content out. Probably going to be talking about the awards on Sunday, and there'll be content throughout the week too, and over the weekend. So as always, but yeah, I appreciate you guys for listening to the Fourth Down Podcast. Please subscribe to us on YouTube and follow us on TikTok and Instagram. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.